Let me just refresh it because this usually takes. Let me just refresh it because this okay. Usually, let me just refresh it because this okay. Usually, let me just refresh it because this okay. Usually, let me just refresh it okay. Okay. All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to the 33rd episode of Goddess Spotlight with Liaserenityrose. I am your host, Leah, and of course, my co-host for today is Pinky.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
And of course, we are going to be doing an interview with the lead writer and director of Sonic and the Dragon's Path is Megmah.
Woohoo!
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get this
Oh, yeah.
Q&A started. All right, here's my first question for you, Meg. Tell us about how you came up with the concept for Sonic and the Dragon's Path, and how did you come up with the title?
Sure. So Sonic and the Dragon's Path, very obviously is meant to be a spiritual successor to the existing Storybook games, those being Secret Rings and Black Knight. How the concept had initially came to be, honestly, when I was trying to just come up, it started off as a writing exercise, between me and some friends. I really wanted to. I was so infatuated with the idea of the Storybook games and the titles as a whole, and I wanted to sort of give my own spin on it. This did not start off as like a fan game, which is really funny. It just, again, like I said, it started off as a writing exercise. I pitched the idea to some friends. We went back and forth, and then we somehow ended up making a video game, and it has been an amazing journey. I love everything to do with Chinese mythology. There's such a rich culture there, so many stories to tell, and I felt that a storybook game based around that mythology would be so fun to explore, especially with Sonic just as a character. I feel like he would just fit beautifully within that kind of world. That's, I guess, sort of how the project came to be. It didn't start off with a game in mind, but it slowly developed into it, and I couldn't be happier.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's really cool that it didn't really start out as a fan game, it just like started out was like, let's let's actually write something, and then it just slowly evolved into like, hey, let's actually make this an actual fan game.
Yeah.
It's such a solid concept that I'm really not surprised that it developed because, yeah, again, like Meg said, Chinese mythology is so vast, but it's rarely ever explored. So it's a very interesting take on a game, definitely.
hmm Absolutely, yeah. Like I think just like the concept, like yeah, Chinese mythology is very interesting, and when you think about it, you see like some Chinese mythology in media, and I know you could say they kind of did a little bit of like some Chinese representation in Unleashed with I think that the continent was Chunan, I think. If
Yeah,
I
Chinan.
Shannon. So I think it's a great idea to explore Chinese mythology because the first two, storybook games, which are the only two until
Mhm.
Sega decides to, but the first two we had like the Arabian, mythology, and then of course King Arthur mythology, in the medieval times. So um and everything. So I think doing Chinese mythology is like it's always so intriguing to me to see that represented.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like I said, it's super enriching. It's so fun. Just researching for this game alone was so fun. And even now, like even on the point of development, I still just like look at other like folk tales and stories just because it's just genuinely good literature. It's good
Mhm.
stories there, and to be able to encapsulate that and sort of give our own spin on it, our own take in like the Sonic verse has been so fun. And I hope that people like the journey that we bring them on with this game, and hope that they can feel the same sort of excitement for this mythology as I have throughout this whole process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Pinky, do you have a question for Meg?
Let me think. So, how did you end up like forming the team behind Dragon's Path? How did you guys end up coming together and creating this piece of media together?
Ooh, great question.
That is a really good question. So like I'd said, it wasn't initially planned to be a game, so it was really just like me and 3 other pals who already had like a server together, and we were just throwing out ideas for like this what if, and we all got so enthralled in this sort of concept. And I can't remember specifically who it was like the first proper like team member when we decided this was going to be a game, because it was so long ago at this point. But and it all happened so fast too. I actually think that like some of the earliest people we brought in was Dragon Arts or Daz on Twitter. She's fantastic. She's been with the project for such a long time, and she does amazing work. And I think a little bit after that was actually you, Pinky. And then just as the sort of project went on, we started making like concept art, character designs, and eventually we had so much stuff. I sort of had the idea of like, why not just make this a game? I made some posts online about looking for artists, looking for musicians, looking for coders, and just seeing if anyone would actually be willing to hop in and join this project. And I think just the idea of a storybook game got a lot of people excited. I got so many replies on like through DMs, through emails of people like wanting to join this, because the Sonic community, and I know this because like, and all of us do, we're all in the community. The storybook games have such a huge hold on the community, just on the stories and the storytelling alone. And so I guess when the prospect of a storybook game was coming to light, I think a lot of people just really wanted to hop on this. Again, I wish I could give a very specific timeline, but it happened so fast, and it was so long ago at this point. It's a blur, but all I know is we have an amazing team now. I would not trade any of them for the world. They are all amazing people, amazing to work with, and just really good friends too. And I'm really, really happy with the work that we have so far.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
great.
definitely. I wasn't expecting like the name drop. I was expecting you to talk about the team, but I am a part of the project, and it's definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the project for so long. You deserve a shout out. You've been here quite a while, and I really appreciate you just being on the team and just helping out.
Any way I can. Any way I can.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I believe I know I saw a question. Oh yeah, to answer your question, Dale, right? It is a fan game, just to confirm.
Yes, this is a full fan game.
Because they were
There are
asking,
people who seem to believe it's a comic for whatever reason.
yeah. So and then let me see. I know I just saw one. Here it is.
I think Leo Angelo asked a really interesting question. He said, "What's that necklace Sonic has there?"
So the necklace, that's a very good question. So the necklace is essentially our version of the item that Sonic has throughout all the games. In Secret Rings, he had the ring that held Shara, the genie of the ring. In Black Knight, he had Excalibur, which is the sacred sword. In our game, he has the necklace, which represents, this actually transitions very well into what I wanted to show represents the goddess of life, Chuntao, who we revealed a few weeks ago. By this point, I think it was like 2 weeks by now. She is your main companion throughout the game, the goddess of life. She is going to be accompanying Sonic throughout this journey. And that necklace represents her. How so? We're still gonna keep that a little bit under, but just know it ties to her. You can even see her wearing one as well. I wonder why that is. We'll have to see.
Oh,
Mm,
mysterious.
yeah. Like I love the coloring of this. It's so beautiful.
Oh,
Very beautiful.
yeah, the art is great. Our artists they do a great job on all the pieces. This one specifically was done by SG Animates or DIT. He was actually the one that animated that trailer, and he came in and did the character poster as well, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
When I saw that on the socials, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she is so beautiful."
She's very pretty.
Um,
I'm
Out
very
on the
glad people
socials
like
and you
her.
were like, "This gonna be good."
mm. Oh yeah, I think I saw the previous question above that one that you read, Pinky. It's by
Mhm.
YTTMNM. Would you plan on making an animated series like this in the future? Ooh.
Animated series. We haven't considered one since we're putting all of our like time and resources into it being a game. We have no plans for any animated series. That would be cool to make like some shorts here and there. But yeah, I guess for now there are no plans for an animated series. But that would be fun.
It would definitely be interesting to see it in like animated form, like an actual like series, where it's like, specific segments of the game where it's like, oh, it's this episode is like this span and then you
Oh
know,
yeah, that would be great.
yeah, it can definitely work, if it's like done in like segments
Mhm.
or something from the game. So, okay, I'll read you another question that I
Sounds
have for
good.
you, Meg. I'm very curious, how did you and your team decide on the art style you wanted to do for this fan game?
Ooh. So the art style for this game, it's not really shown in this poster specifically. Just more of Dit's personal style, but the art style that we want to go for in the actual game itself, that we have some arts for, um, we want to really try to encapsulate that same look as the other Storybook games has in their cutscenes. We want to make this look as authentic as possible, and that does very much influence the art style we go with as well. So how the game will look in the final product is going to be our best interpretation of that Storybook style, those cutscenes that we all just love so much.
Mm, yeah, because like when you look at it, it almost looks like it could be official, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's great. The quality is very nice on these art pieces.
yeah.
I There is a question here that I find very interesting. This comes from Ethan Emerson. Like in Secret Rings and Black Knight, will the Sonic characters in the roles of named characters? Will there be Sonic characters in the roles of named characters? Sorry, excuse me.
There will be. And that's
Ooh.
actually a great question because once again, segues very well into something else I would like to show. So I was asked quite a few times during a previous interview, um, what characters will be in this game, what will be taking the role of existing characters within the mythology. We did keep it under wraps, but today I would like to unveil one of them. So, if I may, I would like to introduce everyone to the first, I guess we should say Sonic lookalike, we'll call them, in Sonic and the Dragon's Path, and that being the nine-tailed beast Tails. He's going to be taking the role, of
Oh.
course, of the Nine Tails. We have his design right here on screen, if you can see. Uh,
Oh.
I I love I love his design. It's I think it's great. Our artists did such a good job on his look, and I think he is going to be so fun in the story. And he was very fun to write for as well. And I hope people like him.
Wow, that is very cool. Like it just makes sense, I just feel like whenever I hear the nine-tailed beast, it's like, yeah, I can definitely see tails
Mhm.
um as it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, and literally someone said, "It's 9 from Prime."
There's someone in here saying 9 from Prime looking salty right now.
9 if you locked in.
So true.
That is great. Like I love the colors used for this.
Thank you.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
glad that you like it, and I hope everyone at home. I'm seeing the chat right now. It looks like everyone seems to like him. I'm so glad. I hope you guys just love his design, and I hope that you guys like how he's written in the story as well. He's very fun.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
trust as a member of the team, I will say that Meg's writing, well, I'm co-hosting and a member, but I will say Meg's writing is incredibly characters, so I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed.
No, thank you.
Mhm. Okay. I see another question in the chat. I guess I'm trying to understand this question by Marla Pickleson. Will there be a villain in the game? I'm not sure if you're going to reveal the villain of the game as of yet. I think that'd be
Not just yet. Not just yet. But you rest assured, yes, there is a villain. It'd be very interesting if we wrote a game without a villain, but
yeah.
there is one. We're not revealing them just yet. That's for a little bit later down the line, and I hope you guys stick around for that.
Because I was like,
Mhm.
there should be a villain in the game. Like, I was like, I think they're asking if you're going to reveal it. I think that's what they were trying to ask. um, but but yeah, I was a little bit confused with the way the question was worded. So,
Mhm.
I
um,
mean, I suppose there's like a series without villains where it's just like
mhm,
build up of bad situations, but I don't think that's quite the point of Dragon's Path.
yeah.
Right.
All right, Pinky, do you have another question for Meg?
Iwa, there is a question from Bellatrix Production Studios. How would you describe Chuntao's personality as a character, and what's her relationship with Sonic?
Okay, that's a very good
Ooh.
question. I can here. Let's pull up her art as well while we're talking about her. Um, So I'll keep it very brief as to not give too much away. But Chuntao as a character takes her role as a goddess, and especially the goddess of life, very seriously. And the trials and tribulations of the story itself are going to essentially, how can I word that? They're going to, I guess, push her beliefs on herself, her role, and also just this world to the forefront. And her character and her character development throughout the story is one of the biggest factors of this game. Um, I've written this story in mind that Sonic is the player character, but the story is about her. And and that's usually the case with the other games as well, with Secret Rings and even Black Knight. The story is very rarely about Sonic, but about his companion, his one-time companion for the game, and it is no different here. That's about as much as I can say without giving too much away. But yes, she takes her role as goddess very seriously, and she will do whatever it takes to save her world.
Nice. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Ethan Emerson. Will this fan game be 2D or 3D?
This is going to be a 3D game. If you've played the other Storybook games, that should give you your biggest reference of how our game will play and how it'll look. Now, I guess the gameplay itself, we are going to refine it and actually make it good. That's probably one of the biggest gripes about those Storybook games, that they just don't control that well. That has been our biggest priority, to make this game still follow that same on rails style, but make it fun, make it playable, make it entertaining. And from what I can say, I think we are achieving that, and it is very fun. And I hope you guys think that as well.
Ooh. Yeah, like I think it makes sense, in terms of like the cutscenes to be like 2D-ish, with like the very older style, because that's kind of what they went for, when they did those cutscenes, and then the gameplay is just 3D.
Mhm.
So like I found it interesting how they mixed it together because most games nowadays it's like they usually just go with one style and over the other. Sometimes they don't mix it, but some games do. So
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to try to make both styles work. But yeah, I guess to I guess fully, I've already answered it, but I guess to reiterate, the gameplay will be fully 3D. Cutscenes, we're gonna go that 2D style that the other Storybook games are all known for.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Let
Mhm.
me go read another question that I have. All right. My next question is, how long did it take to create the teaser for the fan game?
So the teaser was actually animated pretty quickly. That is like all thanks to like the whole team. But specifically, Dit, he works very fast. Which is great. I think if I had to give like a clock in time of like how long it took, I want to say like not counting like little breaks in between, probably like a month or so. It was very
Mhm.
fast. The whole team that worked on the trailer, both on the music and the visuals, or even the sound as well, was brought together super fast. So I'd probably say it took about like a month of just straight working.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Very interesting. All right, Pinky, do you want to read another question in the chat?
Yeah, I will say that we're probably gonna avoid character questions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as in character questions of characters that have currently not been revealed in the game. Probably gonna skip over those. Due to the fact that Meg most probably can't reveal that information at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see a very interesting question here. It's will other mythical creatures like Sun Wukong, the Jade Emperor, or Tang Senzang, etc., be in the game?
I won't give
Ooh.
away
Any mythical creatures in
which.
general.
Yeah. I won't give away specifically which mythological creatures from Chinese mythology will be in this story, but I can guarantee you, yes, they will be in the game. Just characters in general from the mythology. I'm very excited to unveil which characters they are, and I'm excited to see other people's like theories on like who it could be. But I guess your first real look at like what one of those characters could be is the nine-tailed beast right here on screen. Which for people just joining in, we've just unveiled his new design. Um, but yes, do look out for other already existing people and creatures from Chinese mythology. We're pulling from a lot of stories to really make a unique tales. um,
Haha,
but
funny.
yeah, yeah. I guess that sort of answers that question.
Okay. Oh, looks like we're getting technical here. I see a question in the chat by Dino Kaiju. What engine is this game gonna be running? Like appear in this? Oh no, wait, not. Okay. What
Running
engine
on,
is this
yeah.
running on? Yeah, that's an interesting question.
That's a good question. We are going to be using Unity for this game. Unity has
Oh.
been very kind to us in terms of the development of this game, and hopefully it'll be. We're trying our best to optimize it as much as possible so that it can run on most hardware. We don't want to have to be like you have to have like a super high end computer. Not going to need all that. But yeah, it will be running on Unity.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
Very
and
interesting.
someone also wrote in by It's Crover, can I connect my Wii controller?
Thank you, Krover, for the question. As of right now, it is not possible. However, we are considering it. Maybe it's definitely been in the talks of like, do we actually include motion controls? Right now, it is not our priority, but if it ends up happening, that'll be fun.
Yeah, because I know the first two story games because I had friends who played the Secret Rings and Black Knight. They tell me, yeah, the motion controls are a little wonky, and then sometimes, they told me that sometimes even when they try to motion to do a specific action, sometimes it doesn't respond. So
Yeah,
that's like,
those games are rough when it comes to the gameplay. Hopefully, resolve that here.
yeah, because like I totally get it because those two games had the motion controls, and I get, it's to make it more immersive, so I totally get it. But yeah, I had friends who played it and they're like, yeah, the motion controls is very wonky and then sometimes it doesn't respond. So I totally get the concern,
Mm-hmm.
so okay, I'm just going to let the audience know, please do not ask questions about other characters. Meg only revealed the nine-tailed beast tails, so please don't ask questions if specific characters are going to be in the fan game as of yet, because he's not at liberty to reveal that yet.
People are very excited to know, and I don't blame them. But
Yeah.
they will be shown in due time.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Let me ask you another question. Here is my next question for you, Meg. I love the logo design for this fan game. I'm curious who came up with the logo design.
So the logo itself was a sort of group effort, but I can probably give a majority of that credit to Dragon Arts or Daz. This was one of the like first things that like was sort of designed for this game was the logo. We went through a lot of iterations and a lot of like editing, but I think we landed on one that we think is really strong. It was designed by Daz, and then it was then rendered in 3D by Ten. He's another one of our 3D modelers for the game. So it was more of a group effort from the whole artist team. But I will say Daz was the one that designed it fully and gave us that final look.
Like I just love the aesthetic of the logo. Like I was really like in awe with like the softness, like it kind of feels like, the Chinese brush strokes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very mystifying just looking at it, like I love like the soft brush because that's part of like Chinese culture where they really put so much emphasis on brush strokes, and they did such an amazing job, capturing that.
Mm-hmm. I think they did a fantastic job. I couldn't be happier with how it looks. I mean, for the audience here's the logo with a little poster. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it looks. It's great.
Absolutely. All right, Pinky, do you want to read another question in the chat?
Oh, let me look. Um, there's a question here that says, is this project in the earlier or later stages of development? Is there an estimated time as to when we'll see gameplay?
It is definitely in the earlier stages. However, and not making any set promises, but we are trying to get a demo either by like closer to the end of this year. That's what we're trying to shoot for. If we hit that deadline, that'll be awesome. But obviously, things happen. We are just a fan production, so there are expected delays to be happening. But that is what we're shooting for. So I guess if you want specific gameplay, look out for then.
Mm, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Expected time range, although it's not a promise, so keep that in mind, people.
We'll do our
Yes.
best.
Okay, I see another question by Ethan Emerson. What made you choose Chinese mythology?
Well, I just personally just really love Chinese mythology. I just think it's so interesting. I feel like every sort of like media that touches and like dwells on that mythology is so captivating. It's so fun. There's so much there. And even if you don't look at like adaptations and more so actual like stories and folk tales within the mythology itself, like from China, it's so good. It's such good literature. And I invite anyone who wants to delve more into the mythology, just go online and just look up Chinese folktales like within the mythology. You'll find some really good stories. It's a really good read. And it's something I'm very passionate about. and I've had the pleasure of getting to research it for this game, and I've been having a blast.
I'm very curious which Chinese mythology really captivated you?
I
Like in
can without giving too much on like influence for this game. Let me think, because I do want to name some. However, I don't want to give people the wrong ideas of what this game is based on.
mm,
I would have to say, well, I guess one of the more popular ones is everyone knows it, everyone loves it, and I've been asked so much about Journey to the West. That most definitely has been one of the ones that influenced me, especially early on in the process of this game. I do think that that story is it's a long story. Like for anyone that's actually sat down and read all of Journey to the West, it is a long story. Um, but that was like one of the first ones that I like proper sat down and read through, and it was so interesting. It's so fun, and there's plenty of other stories as well. I wish I could name them off the top of my head, but they're all it's such great stories. Maybe at the end of this, I can on my socials I'll drop some of my favorite literatures that I've read. I can put some links there. So if you are interested in actually, and this is for the audience, if you guys are interested in I guess seeing just more tales that I find interesting from mythology. Just look out there. I'll drop some stories that I like.
mm. Yeah, I'm always intrigued with Chinese mythology too. Because it's like represented in like so much media now.
Mm-hmm.
Um and and just like and then now we're seeing like a representation in a fan game for Sonic. It's like it has come a long way. Like we all started with that small blue hedgehog who was just running through Green Hill. And then now
Mm-hmm.
he's getting involved in like, storybook mythologies and it's just crazy.
Yeah, he goes places. It's fun. He's a fun little guy.
Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. I see a question by Cruz. Do you have a roadmap plan for this game for things like trailers, maybe demos, reveals? Ooh.
So, that is a good question. So, I guess if we had to give a rough roadmap, because like I had already said, we are looking to try and get a playable demo out by the end of this year. It's still more of a loose deadline, but we are going to try. In terms of more trailers, we're looking for probably middle of this year. You can probably expect another major trailer, I'll say. Uh, Whatever that contains, who knows? You have to see. But that one, we definitely have that one scheduled for, again, somewhere around the middle of this year, maybe towards the middle or end of summer. And besides those two big deadlines, we're not trying to rush ourselves too much. We want to take our time with this and make it as quality as possible. So look out for those two things. And just, yeah, hope you stick around.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's like you have to take your time when making a game. Because if you rush a game, it will always be a bad game. And it really shows if you rush making a game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you actually take your time, the payoff is better, if you take your time and making sure, that like all the controls work, make sure all the sequences are there. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. All right, Pinky. Do you want to read another question in the chat?
I'd love to. Let me see. Um, Bellatrix Production Studio says, "What do you hope to achieve with this fan game?"
I hope to achieve a, I guess, product that I and the rest of the team are happy about. Obviously, our one of our biggest priorities is to, I guess, please the audience and make sure you guys have a fun experience with this game. This is a game, at the end of the day, that you guys are going to hopefully play. But I'm just hoping to achieve just making that initial story that we came up with and just bring it to life as best as possible. We want to stay as authentic as we can to those games, and if we can do that while still bringing that initial vision of the story to life in game format, that would make me so happy. I would want nothing more than to just see this game just become a reality, see the story become a reality, and even for people to become, again, as enthralled with it as I am. It is so much fun, and hopefully we're able to achieve that. I definitely think we can get there with the team that we have and the progress that we've made. It's just only a matter of time at this point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. The most important thing about a game is that we enjoy it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For sure, absolutely.
Ooh, okay. Someone in the chat asked an interesting question. It's B, and then I don't know what language their username is, but it says, "Will there be Chinese localization? Will it have voice acting?" Interesting
We
question.
have definitely considered it, or at least I have. I have really wanted that. Realistically, will we be able to do it? We'll just have to wait and see. However, I would love to. I think that would just be kind of like the cherry on top for this game. If we can actually get like Chinese localization, that would be awesome. Right now there are no specific plans for it, but if we're able to make it happen, absolutely we'll do it.
Mm. Ooh, okay.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. Pinky, do you want to read the next question in the chat?
Let me see.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Other
for
than
clarifying. They said it's pronounced VG. Gotcha. It's Russian. Thank you.
ah, uh, YTTMNM said, other than Journey to the West, what other Chinese mythology has inspired you to make the story come to life? I'm not
Besides Journey
entirely
to the
sure
West,
if May can answer this one very well without giving something away.
that's
Mhm.
fair. I can just come back to that one. I guess if I had to just name a just story off the top of my head, if I can remember their names, there's one called The Lady of the Moon. That one is a great
Mhm.
story and a great read. I recommend anyone to read it. It's a very good tale. That's one of many Lady to the Moon, or Lady of the Moon, I should say. Excuse me. Um, Journey to the West, I think, was probably the longest read, but I find a lot of my joy to be in the smaller stories, the ones that are a little bit shorter. They're a little bit more condensed, and this is one of those ones as well.
Mm. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember. Here's a little fun fact about me. I actually did take Mandarin Chinese in high school.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, and I actually and I kind of learned about, Chinese culture, and they actually have like this. I'm trying to remember, it's like been a long time, but there's like this specific Chinese like mythology story where we eat like moon cakes or something like that. So it's like very foggy in my head. I have to like look it up, um but but my Chinese teacher did kind of teach us a bit, about a bit of mythology
Mhm.
in Mandarin Chinese class.
Yeah, and I just remembered another one off the top of my head. Uh, the Princess Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is such a good tale. If you have the time, read that one as well. It's a really good one as well. This is for just going back to the question. The Princess of Kuan Yin. Very good story. It's another short one, but it's really good.
Mm, nice. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat. All right, another question by It's Crover. All right, funny question. Secret Rings and Black Knight had a party/multiplayer mode. Do you got plans for a party mode for Dragon's Path?
We do not
Ooh.
have plans for that. We're looking for a fully solo experience for this game. Yeah, there are no plans for a multiplayer, but that would be interesting to try to implement. But yeah, no plans for that. This is full solo.
Mm, very interesting. Yeah, because I know the other two, they had like party mode, quote unquote.
Mhm.
Um, So I totally get, the question. They're like, "Hey, is this actually gonna also have multiplayer mode?" They're like, "Nope, this is more just a solo,
Mhm.
single
I feel
player."
like a lot of I feel like a lot of fan games get that question, but it's probably not super realistic given the fact that they are fan games, and that would require quite a bit of extra work, I reckon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Pinky. Yeah, because if it was like official Sega, then if they have time to do like a multiplayer mode, they will,
Mhm.
Um,
Because uh, fan games are heavily reliant on like volunteers and what.
mhm,
Mhm.
absolutely. Um, I see another question in the chat. Yeah, by Abi Fafner. I hope I'm sorry if I butchered your name. They said, will it run on console?
No, this is a PC only experience. There's literally no way we'd be able to get it on console, so it will be PC only.
Mm, there you go. That answers your question. All right, I'll read my next question. This one's just going to be a general Sonic question for you, Meg. Who
Mhm.
is your favorite Sonic character and why?
Ooh, okay. I should have expected a question like this. Personally, I think more recently it has been Amy. I love Amy as a character, especially in the adventure games. SA1 specifically. I just think she's such a fun character. She is the most grounded character, the most human, ironically, of the cast, and I just love her character, and I love how just like fun she is. Uh, I know a lot of people, you know, they have mixed feelings on her, but I think just as a character, she's very fun, and I like what she's got.
Interesting.
That's a very rare take. You don't hear much of that these days.
She's great.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Adventure One I think was like her best showing just of her character and her personality. Like, yes, she loves Sonic, but like through and through, she's just a good person with a good soul, just trying to do the right thing. And I think
Mhm.
she's great. I love her character.
Yeah, I think like I do agree with you, Pinky. It is a rare take because most people kind of just look more at she chases Sonic because that was more apparent, during that era, you know. So, but yeah, like,
People
oh, go ahead.
people do tend to forget that in that game, by the end of it, she's like, "Hey, I think I want to be more independent. I think I need to step back from Sonic a little bit and work on my own values." People seem to skim over that quite a bit
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
fail to acknowledge it.
Yeah,
Right.
because
There's so
because
much to her character.
yeah, and the thing is, you can see that in Frontiers really prevalently, like they're bringing that back where she's like, okay, I need to take a step back, she actually wants to go and see the world, and spread that love to as many people as she can. And people are like, wait, some people think it's like out of character. I'm like, she was displaying that in another game. So um like, yeah, they're just bringing it back around. I would say they're trying to make it more prevalent.
Hmm.
Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you, Meg. Other than Unity, what's the other software you use to make this fan game?
Well, for now, all of the coding and all of the like everything for the engine is just entirely within Unity. Um, this is we're going to try to get it released at least on GitHub, so you can look out for that whenever we drop a demo. Um, but I guess yeah, in terms of the engine, in terms of building it at least, it's really just been Unity that's we've been using, and with some add-ons and plugins just for like camera controls and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's really just been Unity, and it's been great so far. It's been working really good. We already had a really strong framework to work off of, that we've been editing and really trying to make our own. and it's been working great for us so far.
Nice. All right, Pinky, do you want to read the next question in the chat?
Let me see. This one is by Leo Angelo again. Oh, just curious, who will be in charge of the music, and will there be vocal tracks?
Ooh.
Good question. So yes, there will be vocal tracks in the game. That is like one of the things I am so excited to show people, but obviously can't yet. Yes, there will be vocal tracks. And in terms of who's in charge of the music, there's no one person in charge, but I can give a little shout out to all of our musicians, or our composers, I should say. This is in no specific order, but we have Bob the Guy, who you can actually hear some of his work in the teaser trailer. He's the one that fully composed that teaser trailer music. He did great. We have Dad's Last Nerve. We have Breton Boy, who's helping out. He's our lyricist. He's been doing great. We have Zeri. He's also fantastic. I'm trying to get all the names all at once. Let me check my notes. We have PK Toasty. We have Basic Bronze Sonic. We have Random as well. And that is currently all of our composers at the moment. They're all great. They're all fantastic. They've been doing tremendous work. And I cannot wait to show everyone the music for this game. It is amazing.
Yeah, like I know when I going back to when I actually took 2 years of Chinese class, because foreign language was pretty much a requirement. And I actually got to sing some Chinese songs, because we actually had like I think it was like there was like Chinese representation, like some of the staff members from the Chinese school from China actually visited my high school, and we actually got to perform for them. And literally my Chinese teacher, she actually told us that, like, oh yeah, they commended you guys. You, like, they said our enunciation was like pretty flawless,
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
yeah, I actually, yeah, fun fact about me, I actually got to perform Chinese songs, because it was for, the event at our school was like world I think it was world language night or something like that, and all the foreign language classes got to perform, and we got and stuff, and the those people from the Chinese school actually came to visit my high school, and they said they loved our performance. and that
That's
and that's
awesome.
a
Wow.
and that's a big like appreciation, because they're Chinese, and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are like welcoming us with so much love, for Chinese culture. So
Mhm.
ooh, okay. I'm not okay. I see another question by Marla Pickleson, but I'm not sure if you're allowed to answer that question as of yet, Megma. Okay. If you want to know, the question is, what kind of powers would Chuntao have? I'm not sure if you're allowed
Yeah,
to
I am
say.
able. I'm unable to answer that at the moment. So sorry for that.
Oh no, you're all good. That's why I was like, I know you only just revealed what she looked like, so
Mhm.
I'm not sure if the powers were like, I'm not sure if you're at liberty to say anything about that.
Yeah, no
Ooh,
worries. Yeah.
okay. I see another one by Abi Fafner. Will this game have stages similar to the ones in Sonic Frontiers and Sonic X Shadow Generations? So I'm presuming for the generations part, it's the Shadow Generations gameplay. I guess that's what they're asking.
Mhm. Well, I would probably say no. That game is a much different kind of game. The Storybook games just fundamentally control and are laid out a lot more differently than your average boost title like Frontiers and Shadow Gens. So we're not using too much from those games in terms of level design. So I would say look more towards the actual Storybook games themselves. But we are going to be expanding upon it and, making them a lot more fun to just traverse. That goes hand in hand with the actual just gameplay itself just being more solid. But yeah, right now there are no, I guess, real similarities between Frontiers and Shadow Gens in terms of the stages.
Mm. Oh boy. Wow, another person. It's another question by It's Crover is literally, what is Chuntao's favorite food or beverage?
People love Chuntao.
They love
I'm
her.
just like, I'm not sure if you are allowed to say anything about that.
I think her favorite food can be on the table. Let me think. Oh gosh. Favorite
We've
food or
never thought about this
beverage?
question before.
I've never thought about this. Who am I as a writer if I don't know what their favorite food is? Um
Or beverage. Or
or
beverage.
beverage, yeah, true. Um, I'd probably say just Chuntao as a character. She strikes me as someone who eats like the most like basics of food. Like she is not one to indulge in like big fancy meals. Like you're gonna maybe catch her with like a very modest tray or plate of maybe like rice and some fish. Uh
Mm.
maybe a I don't even know for a beverage. Oh god. I'd say like she's just rocking a big glass of just ice water. She has a very basic taste in terms of food and beverages. I've never thought of this question. Thank you, Crover. Now I can
It,
think more
I
about this. This is
find
awesome.
I find this very amusing, but the person who asked this question said checkmate Megmah.
Checkmate. You got me. You got me, Crover. You
because
win.
because I feel like, when you're writing something, I think the last thing you would think about is what's this character's favorite food or beverage. Because, like, if
Mhm.
because that stuff wouldn't really matter unless if it matters in the plot or story.
But it
So,
is a good thing to know, just like for the
mhm,
characters and like their personalities and just like who they are outside of the story. That's a very good like a thought experiment as well, just in its own right. So Crover, I'll give
mhm.
you that. You got me.
Oh, okay. Um. Oh yeah, Pinky, do you want to read the next question in the chat?
Ooh. Let me
Um,
see. This comes from Way Too Many Elephant Seals. Will the game use the OG storybook models?
While it is based off of it, we have our own model. It's unique animations, unique model, unique everything. That I can actually say was modeled entirely by Strike. He's one of our modelers for the game. He's also animating Sonic as well. He's doing a fantastic job, just on his look for in game. So it's not the OG models. They are new, but they are based off of it. So we're trying to get that same feel with it, just a little bit more modern.
mm. Yeah,
Very good.
because I think those games were like made like I think was it 2009? Uh I think like somewhere around like I think it was before 2010 because I
Black Knight
know
came out in 2010, I believe.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured because I know they had like that cast change in 2010. So um yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Octane10. Will the cutscenes be like Sonic and the Black Knight and Secret Rings?
Yes, they will be. They're going to be fully illustrated, animated. I say in quotations, in the same sort of style as the other storybook games. We're trying to make it look as authentic as possible, and the cutscenes are going to be a big factor in that. So yeah, we're trying our best to make it look as close to those games as possible.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like because I love the way they did those illustrations in the old style, because it made it more authentic because we know these stories are like a long time ago. They don't happen in the present.
Hmm.
So it just made sense to make their like cutscenes like very like old looking, based on the style and everything. So
Hmm.
for sure. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Dio Rai. What would be the most challenging process of creating this fan game so far? Great question.
That is a very good question. I think the toughest part so far, I think it. Oh, that's a good one. I mean, it's a little bit harder for me to say because I am the lead director, so my hand is in basically every field in this. But I would say that, as the writer, writing was and trying to patch any plot holes and like making everything as concise and as interesting of a story as possible was very, very difficult on my end, but really fun at the same time. Um, I do think that like also just getting all the stuff with the engine in order as well has been a little bit of a challenge, but our coders have been doing an amazing job and they've gone through every single trouble with ease. So big props to them. They're doing an amazing job. So I'd probably say for me personally, it was the writing. That was the hardest part because that was the part I had the most hand in simply because I'm the lead writer for it. So much fun though, so much fun, and I hope all that time spent, people enjoy what we have cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like to add on to that,
Feeling
like,
good.
oh yeah, to add on to that, like my question is like, during the writing process, have you actually got writer's block? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah, I've gone through writer's block. It is a natural stage in any sort of writing process. I feel how I got through it was I just needed to take a step back from the project. It's always good to clear your mind and not indulge too much in it to where it's like you get tunnel visioned. It's always good to every once in a while take a step back, clear your mind, work on a few other things, and then come right back. And that's exactly what I did. I came right back. Um, I didn't just straight up leave the project, but I just put it on pause for a little bit in terms of the writing. And I came back and I tackled it head on, and now we have a completed story.
Yeah, like because I know writer's block and artist block is really bad. You're like, oh no, like we like for those if you are writers or artists, we all go through it. It's even I get artist block from time to time. And I do exactly what you do, Meg. I take a step back, I just relax, just listen to some music, and then if I get like inspiration from like music I'm listening to, it like it gives me the motivation to like, oh, okay, I'm inspired from something to draw something. So
Mm-hmm.
ooh, okay. I don't see any questions in the chat, so Pinky, do you have any questions for Meg?
I think. How was the process for creating Chuntao's design? How did that go down? Like, how did you collaborate with the artists? How did she come to be the way she is currently?
That's a good
Mm.
question. So her design, I think, has gone through like the most revisions just out of any of the characters. We've put a lot of time and care into developing into what she is now. Like things like her color palette has gone through like a million different changes. I think we have so many different like alt variants of just figuring out what colors do we want to use. Also, just doing research on, we couldn't just you know design a character that looks like a goddess. There was a lot of research that had to go into this as well. Like for example, I had to do a lot of me and the artist had to do a lot of research on just how does a Chinese mythology and Chinese media portray their deities. One of the things that we've pulled from it is that in a lot of them, usually the bigger the hair, the higher the status. So you can see she's got big flowing hair. She has her ornaments and her earrings as well. Both big things that we had to take into consideration. Even with just like how much she's covered as well, we wanted to respect how they do it in Chinese mythology. And it was just a combination of just doing a lot of research, a lot of drafts, and we ended up on this. And I think she looks great.
It's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I love how how you and the team especially the artists, it's like, hey, we need to be sure we don't show too much because, in Chinese culture, they don't really expose too much skin, and I love the integrity that you guys do for that because that's showing how much you respect the culture,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
totally. I mean, we even not even just in their designs, but even just like how we tell the story. One of the biggest priorities is just making sure that we're telling this in a very authentic way. We like at no point do we ever want to have someone or something in the story that just isn't at all accurate to how things are in the mythology. Obviously, we have our own creative liberties on like how we write characters, which is totally our own. But when you're delving into someone else's culture, you want to make sure that you respect it as much as possible. And I've been doing my best to stay as educated as possible in writing this, make sure I'm doing as much research as humanly possible so that everything can look and feel as authentic as it can be.
Absolutely. Like, I definitely agree because I know, like, when movies try to do it, sometimes they get hit, with backlash because, like, oh, you're not being respectful to that culture, so
Mm-hmm.
like I'm really glad how you're like, I'm making sure I do all this research to be sure that we are actually being, we're actually respecting, the Chinese culture, because as we know, they don't really show that much skin, you know. They cover most of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
um Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you. This is another general one. What got you into the Sonic franchise?
Oh, I've been in the like a fan of the series since I was like a little kid. I know my first ever Sonic game was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I adore that game. It is one of my favorites 'cause it's one of my firsts. Um, and then after that, I started playing games like Sonic Unleashed and the Storybook games, at the adventure games, Heroes, which I actually never beat. I got to go back and beat Heroes. Um, and just indulging in the games, that was like one of my biggest things, as well as Rush was one I put probably the most hours in. If it wasn't like '06 or Unleashed, Rush was like the biggest one for me. And I love those games even just since I was a kid. I remember one of my like earliest drawings ever was like I just like pulled up an image of Supersonic on my computer, drew him out on my little paper, and brought it to school. I was so proud of it. I didn't realize I gave him 8 emeralds instead of 7, um, but I couldn't count, so who
Aw.
cared? But yeah, I've been a fan since I was like a little kid, and those were the games that like really got me into the series. Sonic 2 was the one.
Mm, nice.
No, absolutely.
Ooh, okay. I do see questions in the chats, but I'm not sure if you are allowed to answer anything about gameplay features as of yet, so I don't think you're allowed to make,
I mean, it
right?
depends on the question. We can see.
Okay,
This
so this
is
is
a question from one of our team members did actually,
Oh, hi, Dit.
I believe.
oh, do you want to read it, Pinky?
Yeah, sure. What new gameplay features or mechanics can players expect, and how do they differentiate this game from previous titles?
That is a fantastic question, and I can answer this. So, without giving too much away on terms of like specific powers or whatnot, one of the biggest focuses about this game is yes, we are trying to stay more faithful to that sort of linear style, we'll say, or like hallway style with those games, but we also are playing around with widening it up, like giving the player more room to kind of maneuver left and right, playing with lots of horizontal gameplay as well. I think that's one of the things that those games could have utilized so much, but was kind of held back just because of the motion controls, just controls in general. It made it feel very tight. One of the things about our game that we really want is to make it feel free, still feel grounded, but free. And that is going to reflect a lot in the levels and how we design them. Again, playing with lots of like horizontal, going up and down, playing with some branching paths here and there, but being more modest about it. Again, it is not going to be like Shadow Gen's kinds of alternate paths. It's our own sort of style, while just working off of the already existing storybook formula. But I guess that's sort of how I would look at it differently. Where the other storybook games, in terms of gameplay, are very, I guess, linear. Ours is still linear, but it's more freeing, I think. Even just how the engine works as a whole, which I'm very excited to show people very soon, hopefully soon. That's been our like design philosophy when it comes to these levels and just the gameplay as a whole.
Okay.
It'll be very interesting to see in action.
Oh, another hilarious question from It's Crover. Question for Megmah: spaghetti or meat?
Ooh, I gotta say meat. I love steak. I love chicken. I can't give that up over just spaghetti. Spaghetti is one thing. Meat is like a general. You can't just have just the one spaghetti. That's only one type of pasta. If you said pasta, it would have been different. I still would have said meat, but it would have been different.
Maybe they mean like ratio, like your spaghetti to meat ratio.
Oh, maybe. My philosophy with that is if I can still see the pasta, it's not enough. It's not enough meat.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I see a question about what will gameplay look like. Unfortunately, Meg can not answer that for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
There's one about
a very
about...
I'm so sorry. Delay. Keep going.
Abby Fafner also was asking, will Sonic have any special abilities or forms like in Black Knight and Secret Rings?
I would love to answer that question. I cannot answer that question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking. Like, I don't know if he's at liberty to answer this.
That's all good. I'm always down to just be like, that will be unveiled later, whether or not he does have new powers or a new form. That'll be for the future to tell. But I hope you guys, I'd love to see your guys' theories and what you guys think will happen just based off of the information that we've been giving so far. I love seeing people like theorize about this game and like see what they think. It's been very fun. I read the comments. I see what y'all are saying. Please keep them coming. They're very fun to read.
Oh my gosh. Like another question is like, question for Meg, Doritos Cool Ranch?
Yes.
Before you answer this, I was gonna check. It's random. It's one of the musicians for Dragon's Bath. To clarify,
that is Random's one of our musicians. We got the whole team slowly coming into chat.
We got the whole team in the comment section.
They're sneaking
in. Doritos Cool Ranch.
You guys won't even know they're there. They're like assassins. They're in the crowd.
Oh, okay. Another one from It's Crover. What about pasta with cheese?
That's a necessary. You have to have that. Gotta have cheese on the pasta.
Oh my gosh. I see one with, is pineapple on pizza legal or is it grapes?
Well, if we're talking about in the world of Sonic and the Dragon's Path, I think that I think it's up to the person. I think they can decide whether or not they want to, bring that abomination to life, pineapple on pizza. That's up to them.
Or you could be fun and make it illegal. That would be the best option. That'd make the world happy.
You're right. That's the new canon. Pineapple on pizza is illegal in the world of Sonic and the Dragon's Path. They will get you if you try to make it.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, this one's interesting. It's another question by Octane10. When can we expect a new trailer or something else? So yeah, they're asking about like, is there like an estimated time when a new trailer may come out?
Yes, I've already answered this a little bit before, but just maybe for the new people rolling in, While we don't have any set dates just yet, we are trying to have a trailer by the middle of this year and hopefully a demo by the end of this year. That's sort of our timeline right now. If we're able to meet that, that'll be very ideal and very good. The team is working very hard to meet those deadlines. So expect it for then. These are more loose deadlines, so just do keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question from Mr. Coolio that says, will Sonic have a set of upgrades, or will he have static stats?
That's a very good question. How can I answer this without giving too much? I would say that Sonic throughout the game will develop, and that will reflect in the gameplay as well. So you can expect it to not just be the same formula throughout. We are going to try to play with it, and that even goes with the gameplay as well. So I guess take that as you will.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Odyssey. Okay, Odyssey RE. Would you rather be a pirate, a cowboy, or a samurai? Ooh.
Personally, cowboy. Cowboys are awesome. They're so cool. Why would I not want to be a gunslinger riding on a horse into the sunset yelling yeehaw? Like, that's awesome.
This may not be aimed at me, but as the voice of Marine for Sonic Revolution, there is only one correct answer, and that is a pirate.
I don't know. Cowboys are kind of sick.
Oh boy, we'll come back to that.
Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chats by it's another question by Way Too Many Elephant Seals. Will we get a Mac port? I use Mac and there's barely any good fan games on Mac. Ooh.
I would love to have it be playable on Mac. Right now, that is not a priority for us at the moment. If we are able to do that later, then we will do it. However, yes, unfortunately, we are looking for just a standard PC release.
Is it like for Windows, I'm presuming? Like
for Windows, yes.
Okay.
If we're able to make it work on Mac, hey, we'll do it. But that'll be for the future to tell.
Mm-hmm. All right. There's another question in the chat by Monkey Dude 619. Has the cast been decided for this game, or is it still a work in progress?
That is something I can't touch too much on. But I will say that everyone that is a part of the team right now has been doing an amazing job. And I am just very excited for everyone to not only see, but hear what we've got cooking. We've got an amazing team here. And I think everyone's going to really like everyone's performances and stuff like that. It's been great.
I would say just be surprised, it's like
surprised.
It's because you're like, if you kind of already know, then it's like, it's not really going to be a surprise when the game releases.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to put Tails back up on screen for any new people that are slowly pouring in. We've unveiled a new character. This is Tails, the nine-tailed beast. Tails reveal. He's going to be a character in the game. The first character, or Sonic character look-alike, we're calling him, in our game.
He's such a baby.
He is. Oh, I love him.
He's just a baby. Just a baby.
Okay, here is my next general question for you, Meg. What is your favorite Sonic music and why?
My favorite Sonic... Okay, if we're talking specifically just one song, Endless Possibilities, that one will always just make me feel like a kid again. I love that song to death. It is amazing. But if we're talking just like what game has like my favorite soundtrack, I would probably say, probably Adventure 1. That game's soundtrack, just start to finish, is so good. It is so good. But in terms of just solo tracks, yeah, it's gotta be Endless Possibilities. That one's so good. And oh gosh, what is it called? Fight the Night from Black Knight. That one is so good too. What a great boss theme. That one's awesome.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, endless possibilities. You can't go wrong with that song. Like, I think what I love is that, the ending of Unleashed, and then you see, like Sonic has that little, what do you call it? That little bracelet thing that he picks up with, and stuff. And then he sees Tails, and then he just runs off, and then the song just starts. It's like a great transition.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
so
great
good.
ending. It's like a great ending to that game, and I have to say, whoever edited that and actually had the song start, and then just have Sonic just running while that song is playing, is just pure genius. It's brilliant.
It's a great song, and it's amazing. I love it.
Okay. All right, Pinky, do you want to read another question in the chat?
Oh. Mr. Coolio4 says, what will you say the difficulty of the game will be in relation to the other Sonic storybook games?
Difficulty.
Ooh.
That is a good question. I think we're going to, I guess, sort of the skill, what's it called? The skill ceiling, we'll say. We're not going to make it insanely high. Again, we are trying to make it more similar to those other games, and the storybook games specifically, they are quite easy to just pick up and play. The motion controls don't really help all that much, but just in general, as just like a pick up and play game, it's pretty solid. Both of those games, and most Sonic games in general. So I don't expect like an insanely challenging experience, but we will try to, in some parts of the game, we will try to push the player's skills and really test you. There's a lot going on in this game in terms of just mechanically and just gameplay wise. So do expect at some points we will be testing the player and seeing like, do you got everything down? So I guess use those other games as reference in terms of the skill level. Too crazy, but we are gonna have some fun and testing the player, see if they've really learned how to play the game.
As
Ooh,
every
very
good game should.
interesting.
Exactly. This is just classic game philosophy.
Like, it's crazy because, like, I know, like, I know when I watch my friends play Secret Rings and Black Knight, they're like, oh, this part's easy, and then when they get to like a boss fight, like, oh no, I was not ready for this. Like, it's kind of like, it's just mellow, and you're like, okay, let's complete this level, and they're like, oh no, I was not ready for this boss fight, this thing. And um
Those are always fun experiences when just a boss comes out of nowhere and just kicks your butt out of like it's very fun. And hey, maybe our bosses will do the same. Who knows?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. It's my favorite phrase.
Absolutely. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat. Another question by Marla Pickleson. Has Sonic and the Black Knight or Secret Rings inspired you to make the game? I believe you answered this earlier.
I have, yeah. I mean, with this being a storybook title, absolutely. There's so much inspiration from those games, and kind of had to be if we're going to be making our own storybook game.
And then I believe, yeah, I already asked you the question at YTTMNM. But I'll just reiterate, it's which Sonic game was your childhood favorite? So
Childhood favorite was Unleashed and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Rush. I know you asked for one, but I gave you three.
Okay, so here is my next question for you. Another general one. Are there any Sonic characters you relate to in terms of their personality?
Ooh, I'd probably say, man, that's a good one. I'd probably say like Tails. I feel like I find myself relating to Tails a lot. He is just someone who just tries to do his best in the world that he's in, and he just, I mean, both physically and also just in a lot of other ways, is a lot smaller than like the challenges that he faces, but he always tries his best to tackle them as much as possible, improve himself, and I guess in his specific case, improve his engineering and his confidence. And I find I can relate a lot to that. Just trying to, when things are tough, when the odds are against you, to just push through and just know that you got this. And it's always great to have a support team and just a family with you, which he has, and quite thankfully I have as well. So yeah, I'd probably say Tails.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right. I see another question in the chat. I believe that was answered earlier by It's Crover. Someone asked about Sonic's necklace. I know that was answered earlier.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, here's the next question. To you, Meg, which do you prefer, Secret Rings or Black Knight? Ooh.
Black Knight. Very much so. Because I think the story it's my personal favorite between the two. Not to say Secret Rings' story is bad, not by any means. It's great. But Black Knight's story is just it just hits so hard. And also I just love the sword gameplay. I know a lot of people don't, which is fair, but I don't know. I have a soft spot for it. I know it ain't the best, but it's my mess. And it's great. And Black Knight easily. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Because you could say that, like, if you prefer like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table mythology, it's like that's great. And then, like I said, likewise, if you're more into the Arabian mythology, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's just a matter of preference. Like if you're more into this mythology or the other mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Ethan Everson's like, Tikal should have been the Lady of the Lake and Amy is Queen Genevieve.
Could you imagine? That'd be pretty
die
cool.
on that hill, they said.
We'll die on that hill. Hey, you
Like,
fight on that hill. Fight with your life.
because what's funny, I'm not sure if you know this, Megmah, I think it's like Sonic Forces Speed Battle. They actually gave Amy a paladin like outfit.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and people have made fan art of like, Excalibur Sonic, in his gold armor, and then with like Paladin Amy, and I'm like, then who's Lady of the Lake then?
Right.
In this context then? So um but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait. I'm not sure if you're allowed to answer this about Tails, since he revealed Tails is the nine-tailed beast, and by Abi Fafner. Can Tails still fly? Because how could he fly with 9 tails? I'm not sure if you're able to answer that at this
I
time.
can answer that one. It's a very tame question. I mean, how does nine fly in Prime? I mean, he has 9 tails as well, and he's able to spin them around. I imagine our tails could do the exact same, spin them around. I don't think he would lose that ability at the very least. But I don't see it being impossible.
Mm,
Well,
okay.
yeah, this definitely isn't the first time that Tails has had more than 2 tails, so it's I don't see why it wouldn't be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you want to read the next question, Pinky? Because I see one from Random 8.
Yes, from Reanimate. Actual question from me. I've been meaning to ask, have you thought about adding some kind of gallery, or whatever you'd call it, in the game that shows off all the scrapped ideas and concept art?
I have been waiting for someone to ask this. Thank you, Random. Yes, we have. We really want to have an art gallery in this game. Any fan arts, any concept arts from our side, any scrapped ideas, anything that you guys make, we want to just make an art gallery like those other games, or like Black Knight specifically, and just show off the stuff for the community. I feel that has been one of the things that I've wanted to have in this game since like the start. And we've already gotten some amazing pieces of fan art. Like it has been awesome. And if there is ever any more, we do want to compile just like a bunch of them and just put them all into this gallery. Hopefully we can get all of them. I'm trying my best to keep track of any and all fan art. I'm keeping my eye out. But yes, to answer the question simply, we are considering having a art gallery.
Ooh, I always love when games put like an art gallery, like a place or like a hub, with what they do in like Sonic Generations or Shadow Generations. You literally have like the concept art. There's like a place where you can listen to music, there's all the cutscenes from the game, so I love
Yeah.
that they do that, because it really gives like because when you look at concept art, you're kind of like, it kind of gives you the what if like the development team went with that concept design before they decided on the final design of like a character or like the environments, it's always so intriguing to me.
Oh, it's so fun. And I actually just saw a another question in here. I think they're trying to ask where we'd be able to post the fan arts. We actually have a designated hashtag already created. If you want to use the hashtag Dragon's Path fan art, any and all fan arts, throw them, post them with that hashtag on Twitter, Blue Sky, whichever one you prefer, and we'll see it and we will love it. So in case you're wondering for that, we are also, if I may, we are also doing our best or we're finalizing a community server for the project, and hopefully that's up soon. And when that is up, we're going to have a designated spot in the server specifically for your guys' creations and your fan arts. But for now, and even just for the future, use the hashtag Dragon's Path fan art and share it with us, and we will see it and we will love it.
Nice. Ooh, okay. I believe this question was answered earlier. Another question from Mr. Coolio 4. What languages engine will the game be created in? So I'm pretty sure you answered this question.
I did. I can just reiterate again. That's no problem. Yeah, so we are going to be using Unity, and the primary language right now is English. If we are able to localize it to other languages, then we will do our best. But right now, our priority is English for now. And yes, Unity is what we are using for the engine.
Nice. Ooh, okay. Let me check. Okay, I'm going to reiterate it again. Please do not ask which other of Sonic's pals is going to be in the game. Megmah is not at the liberty to reveal that yet. So please do not ask if other characters are going to be in the game. Because I've been seeing, because someone's asking, is Shadow in the game? I'm like, I know you've reiterated.
Can't say whether or not just yet.
You can't say anything yet. Okay. Where's my next question? Because I know. Ooh, okay. Here's my next question. Do you have any advice for people who are aspiring to create a Sonic fan game?
I would say, as this is my first fan game, I can say what I've learned, or I guess like first full fan game that I'm running. The biggest piece of advice that I can give is make sure you're having fun. That is the number one rule with any fan project. Make sure that whatever you're making it because you genuinely love it and you enjoy it and you want to work on it. There's like I'm sure that there are plenty of projects out there that start with a lot of passion but then eventually die out. And if you're looking to make your own, if this is something that you yourself are so set on, it all just starts literally with an idea. It starts with a concept. It starts with just something in your mind that you find fun and want to flesh out. Whether you're the one writing it, whether you're making art for it, whatever the case may be, make sure you have the passion and love to actually see it through to the end. That's the biggest thing with any sort of fan project or any project in general, but specifically fan projects.
Absolutely. Because because it's very similar, to a job, right? Like, because there's some people, that are stuck at a job that they despise so much, and then it's like, want you to do something that you're actually passionate about, and doing something that you're passionate about, because when you actually are passionate about a project, you know, you're not just doing it because it's a job. You're actually doing it because you love it. And
Hmm.
and that's the mindset that every like every person should follow by, whether you're creating a fan game or whether you're writing a story or creating an art piece. It's like, do it because you love it. Don't do it because you're, for another reason. Because otherwise you're going to be filled with, with like, oh, I hate what I'm doing.
Hmm.
you know the Oh my gosh, it's Crover's trying to be a troll with their question.
Oh
They
my
put
gosh, not
is Burger
again.
Man gonna be in the game? It's such a troll
Is
question.
Burger Man? You know what? I said I wouldn't reveal any more characters, but you're right. No, he's uh no, Burger Man will not make an appearance, unfortunately. All the Burger Man fans, I'm sorry if I disappoint you.
Unfortunately, Burgerman is off fighting the rights of the pineapple pizza people. He's
True.
very busy. He's very busy laying down the law and making sure people are freed from oppression.
Hmm. He's really busy. He just didn't have time to come in the studio. We tried. We tried.
We offered a good sum. We really did.
Hmm.
He just couldn't accept it.
Oh my
Is what it
gosh.
is. He's a big talent.
Ooh, okay. So here's a technical question, another question by Mr. Coolio 4. Will the game have high-end base requirements, or will it have a square pile of settings for the user to optimize the game for lower end hardware?
We are
Oh,
going to
this is
do
very
our
cool.
Yeah, that's a good question. We are going to do our best to make sure that this game can be played by everyone. If you own a PC, we're not going to have it, be required to have like the highest specs possible. Not only would that just be a lot tougher on our end, just developing it and optimizing it, but also it wouldn't be as fun if everyone couldn't play it. So we are going to do our best to optimize it as best as possible so that even if you have a somewhat lower end computer, you can still enjoy the game in all its glory.
Mm. Yeah, because I know some other games, that are made for like PC. Sometimes you have to have like very high, hardware settings, in order to run it. Um,
Mhm.
so that's totally understandable why this person asked like such a technical question. It's like, yeah. Because it could be, you never know. Because I know some people don't have the luxury of having those high performing, laptops or computers, that can run um run specific games because of their, hardware settings. So so that
Mhm.
was a very great technical question. Ooh, okay. Ooh, here is something that's been going on. So, okay, here is my next question for you, Meg. Have you been to the Sonic Symphony concert? I'm very curious.
Yes, I have. I had the absolute pleasure to go last year in California. I met up with a pal of mine, and it was so worth it. If there is a show happening like somewhere where you're able to go to, go. It is so fun, and you're gonna lose your voice the next day, and you're not gonna regret it.
Sighs an Australian.
No, Pinky, we're gonna get you over here one day.
Ugh,
We're gonna get you to that show.
we don't get nothing.
We're gonna
like,
get you over here.
like
Please, please. Oh my gosh.
because like Sonic Symphony, like they always go all out, in their performances, and I love that they bring on like Johnny and June.
Hmm.
I know they brought in Kellen Quinn. I'm trying to remember the other ones because like they're still touring to this day, and and I commend them because that's got to be a lot of work. They're like booking like so many other venues.
Hmm.
And I'm like, my gosh, that's a lot of work. But you got to commend they always do 120% effort. Such a awesome and phenomenal job.
Hmm.
Ooh, okay. This is an interesting question. Pinky, do you want to read that question in the chat?
see. A question for all of you guys. Do you have a Sonic game that made you like, that you feel not a lot of people like?
Ooh.
Let's see. That not a lot of people like. I mean, I hear a lot of people say that out of the original three, Sonic 2 was the weakest, which I don't agree with personally. But
Ooh.
I think Sonic 2 is great. I guess
I actually agree completely. It was one of the first Sonic games I ever played.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I do have an answer. Sonic Shuffle. Sonic Shuffle's goated. If you're gonna rag on Shuffle, you gotta fight me personally.
Oh no.
Oh, that one. The one where I think like lots of people like to call it the Mario Party knock.
It's peak. It's great. Don't at me.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I know the infamous one that people hate is '06. um that game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that game in more recent years has gotten more love than hate. Um, I love that game for like story and music reasons. I think the
Mhm.
gameplay. I mean, it doesn't need to be said. Yeah, it's rough. But I think '06 has
It's
been getting a
like
lot of love.
I've seen so many videos. But yeah, like the quality of the game is just really shown when the glitches mess you up when it really shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, everything that needed to be said about that game has been said a billion times. But I personally love '06. It's hold a little spot in my heart.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Wait, where? I'm trying to see. Okay. I don't see any new questions in the chat. All right, Pinky, do you have another question?
Um, let me think. I'm a bit stumped at the moment, actually. My goodness.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Oh,
We have gone
okay.
through quite a bit already.
Okay, here is another question I have for you, Meg. Are you hopefully someday in the future, we get another official Sonic Storybook game in the future? And if so, what are you hoping, hypothetically?
Hypothetically speaking, if they were to make one, guys, I have a really good pitch, Sega. So think of this: Chinese mythology. No, so yeah, obviously, I would love if they would try to just do this formula again. I think it works so well for Sonic, just as a character, with how like malleable of a character he is. I think he works so well when you just throw him into a story and just see how he shapes the world. That was one of like the biggest things I noticed about writing this game. I had a plot in mind, I had characters, and then I started writing Sonic into it. And Sonic, like as a character, when I was writing him, was in a weird way writing it himself. Like Sonic wouldn't allow
Mm.
this to happen. Sonic would do this, Sonic would do that. And it just completely shaped the story. And that I feel like that can only work in a storybook setting. It's great. And I hope that Sega one day gets the chance to try that again and bring the series back. Or the series, I mean the storybook series. I think it would be so fun to see like a modern take on that. And I guess this is our version of that. What if you say, the third and final storybook game. But if Sega ever did one officially, that would be awesome.
Mm. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat. Would you like to read that, Pinky?
Let me see. My last question to Megmah and the team. After the release of the game, will Sonic and the Dragon's Path be something to be proud of and look back upon?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's just so much heart and soul in this game, both from me and just the rest of the team, that there's just no way that we just won't be proud or hopefully just happy with the product we put out there. This has been such a fun journey. to develop this game and create all the elements, the characters, the writing, the gameplay. And I think once it's all said and done and this game is released, I will feel so warm and happy. I can't wait for that day. But a lot of work needs to be done till then. But I'm so ecstatic. I can't wait.
It'll definitely be something to be expecting, to be proud of, and to look back upon. Definitely. This isn't related to Dragon's Path, but I think I'd love to get Meg's opinion on this. What do you all think of the Sonic X DC from what you've read/seen?
Oh, I think it's awesome. Like, just as its own little like spin-off, I think it's so fun. Like, who doesn't love to see the Sonic cast interacting with the Justice League? Like, when is that ever going to happen in any sort of official capacity? That's awesome. I love the art style. I wish I knew the artist off the top of my head, but they're doing a bang-up job. It's amazing. I mean, what little story there is in this little spin-off, it's fun. You know, it's a fun little thing. Just, you know, I think it's cool, and I like the characters, like the character interactions and the writing. It's a fun little side thing, and I think it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I know people like literally are commenting on that like Shadow and Batman interaction. I've seen it
that scene is so good.
I've seen it like blow up on Twitter, and like everyone's talking about it. I'm like, yes, this is peak.
It's so peak.
Like the fact is that Batman just surprises Shadow, and Shadow normally doesn't get surprised, but the fact that Batman surprised him with his question, you know, Batman just knows.
Batman, yeah, he's that guy. He knows.
Like, I just like how Batman just talks to him casually, because he's like, oh yeah, I've been there, man. I feel you. Like he totally understands, because we all know Batman's backstory, you know. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. Apparently, Abby Fefner, they said they can't find the fan art posts in Twitter. Where can I find them?
Well, I guess there is one specific post where we just like say like, hey, drop your fan art here. But if you just want, you don't need to reply it under any specific post. Just use the hashtag Dragon's Path fan art. It's real simple. And then you just post it and we will see it. We do check any of our hashtags very regularly. So if you just post it with that hashtag, we will see it. And we'll give it a little like. We'll give it a repost. Well, I adore all the fan arts that we've gotten so far. And I am so ecstatic to see more. It's so fun. It's so cool to see. And I love, like, you guys are so talented. And I can't wait to see what you guys do, if you guys do any fan arts in the future. But yes, use the hashtag Dragon's Path fan art.
Okay, so here is my next question. Which other Sonic media are your favorites other than the Sonic games? It can be like the official animations that they released on their YouTube and other socials, the comics, the movies, the cartoons.
I personally love the comics. I'm a big comic reader. I liked reading Archie. I liked reading IDW. I'm not caught up just yet. I kind of fell behind a little bit. I got to catch back up. But they're good reads. I might be, again, a little biased because I just like to read. I like comics. I like pictures. But yeah, those are always great. That would be my pick.
Nice. Okay. I'm Pinky, do you want to read the next question in the chat?
Sure. Would you consider IGN's stance on Sonic to have become more lenient recently, or would you rather fun reviewers are still a bit... I'm having a hard time understanding this question. Or would you rather Thun reviewers are still a bit wee than Thran? I'm a little confused.
I think what they might be asking is if reviewers have been a lot easier on Sonic as of recent. Which, because, you know, it was a thing before where a lot of reviewers, just of any Sonic content, specifically the games, they would bash on them. And that was a thing for a while. But if I'm interpreting the question correctly, I definitely think that reviewers have been a lot more lenient on Sonic. I mean, you could just look at the reviews. Look at the fact that like Shadow Generations and Frontiers, like critically, have done great. They've both sold well and have been reviewed pretty well. Shadow Gens being the better reviewed of the two, which I think is the better product overall. But yeah, I definitely think reviewers have been a lot more lenient with like just Sonic content. I think it's just due to the fact that Sonic is just getting better stuff now. Like the quality of Sonic is just starting to rise, and it's very visible. It's very, very good to see. And I can't wait for the next big installment. I can't wait to see them advance even more if they do. I hope they do,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we do have the racing game now, a new racing game, the Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and I know a lot of fans are like excited for that.
I got to beta test for that game, and it was very fun. It's super chaotic. Oh my god, it's so chaotic. But overall, it's a fun game, and I think once they polish it up, it'll be another really good Sonic game, and hopefully, it gets reviewed well.
Yeah, like I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping they learn from TSR and the online is actually playable, because I know lots of people hated TSR's online because sometimes it would just disconnect you even though you have great signal. And it's like, I was like, yeah, maybe do some beta testing to see if this works, before you release the game. And I'm glad that they did. I was like, okay, they're actually taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. There's another question in the chat by Raji Mesturi. I believe this was answered, but they said, but it's another reiteration. Is the game planned to be more like Unleashed and Generations, or have the tight corners of the Storybook games?
Closer to Storybook. Just making it a lot more enjoyable to play compared to the other games. But yeah, closer to Storybook.
Okay. And then there is another question in the chat. Last question by Monkey Dude 619. My last question before I head out. What's your guys' favorite Sonic moment of all time, and anything that you either played or seen? It can come from comic shows and movies as well. Great question.
Ooh, that is a really good question. Okay. Maybe. What is my favorite? Actually, I know it. My favorite moment from Sonic, if we're not choosing like a really like hype one, it has to be the scene with Chip in Unleashed, where Chip has finally got his memories back, and he's telling Sonic just like about who he is, and Sonic, he tells him that like, oh, it's probably you that like kept me from going crazy like all those other people like influenced by Dark Gaia, and Chip tells him, no, that was all you. I didn't do anything. I think that's such a good moment for Sonic. It's one of my favorites. He, like, that scene right there encapsulates basically everything I love about this character. He knows who he is and he's confident, but he also, in some sort of his own Sonic way, is humble. And I think that is like one of my favorite cutscenes just in general, just from Sonic. And if we're choosing like a hype one, I'd probably say in Black Knight, where he confronts King Arthur for the last time and he gives the whole speech like, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, Knight of the Wind. That scene's awesome. But yeah, number one, that scene with Chip. It's so good.
Aww. I would say for me, to answer your question, is since we are out of the spoilery thing in Sonic Movie 3, when like Sonic and Shadow are like talking on the moon. My gosh.
Oh yeah.
That scene was beautiful. It was executed like flawlessly, and I told my friends when I told my friends about this, that like I love that scene because like unlike in the games, in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic can't really relate to Shadow's pain and grief, when you think about it. Like meanwhile in the movies, they already set up since the first movie that Sonic lost his adoptive mother, and that pain stayed with him. It's been with him the entire time. and movie Sonic kind of gives movie Shadow some advice, and then he's like, did your pain ever go away? And he's like, no, it hasn't. Like, that scene was so powerful because, like I said, movie Sonic can relate more to his pain, than game Sonic. So I think that's what I love. That's like my favorite wholesome scene from that movie. But I think just for a funny laughs, it has to be, you know how like in Unleashed where like Sonic falls down and then hits the ground, and his face gets
Mhm.
stuck in the ground. For some reason, they decide to make that a gag in Sonic Prime.
Oh yeah,
And
he
they
does that
kept
a lot.
showing it shows that in multiple instances. I'm just like, okay, they really are making this a gag now, aren't they?
Mhm.
Where he just like falls from a great height and then he just like smashes face into the ground.
It is
But
very
yeah, that
funny.
and when I saw that in Prime, I'm like, oh wow, they really are making this a gag now, where Sonic just doesn't know how to land.
Yeah.
um, but yeah. Ooh, okay. So there's another question in the chat. Do you want to read that, Pinky?
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Will Dragon's Path be aimed at a certain age demographic, or will it be suitable for both older fans as well as weens? I'm assuming they mean younger fans.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, we're not trying to do anything that Sega wouldn't. Um,
Mm.
we're still trying to keep it as close to those games as possible. And every Sonic game it's a family friendly genre of games. So yeah, I'd say the demographic expected to be like the same. We don't do anything that Sega wouldn't do in these games in terms of like content, like graphic content and stuff like that. This is a family friendly game, we'll say.
Nice. Okay. Oh, okay. This is an interesting question by T Star or Poochucks. This question has probably been asked, but how are you going to be characterizing Sonic? For example, leaning more into the early 2000s Sonic or modern Sonic, where he's a bit more poetic slash modernized? Oh, that's an interesting question.
This is a great question. Sonic, how we're going about writing him, or I guess how I'm going about writing him for this game, I have made it a number one priority that he acts and feels the same way as he did during those other Storybook games, Unleashed, like the Dark Age games, as they've been labeled. That is the sort of Sonic that I'm trying to, and the team is trying to encapsulate just within this game. We just Sonic as a character during that time. Yeah, he did have a bit of like poeticness with him, especially in Black Knight. It was very nice to see. Just as a character, I just felt personally I enjoyed him so much during that time. Not to say that any of the modern iterations of Sonic are bad by any means. I enjoy them too, but there's a different level of enjoyment to be found in those other games in terms of Sonic's characterization, and we're doing our best to bring that feel back, bring the Dark Age Sonic back, that characterization. And so, if you guys know anything about Sonic during that time, just expect that Sonic coming here in the best way that we can bring him.
Nice. Ooh, okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat by KMTS underscore dice. Back to Sonic Crossworlds, what characters would you like to see added to the roster? Ooh, another great question.
Ooh, Tikal. Give me Tikal in the game. That would be awesome. That would be really,
You're
really
so
cool to
nice
have.
for that.
Dude, Tikal would be so cool to have in this game. Who else would be good to have? Let's see. Give me
I want some orange girl love personally. Get me some sticks, get me some marine, get me some Tikal.
yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. If they can even get like the IDW characters in there as well, which I'm pretty sure they already announced is going to be in there. Like oh god, I'm forgetting all the names off the top of my head of the IDW characters. Yeah, Tangle,
Tangle,
Whisper, and
Whisper.
Surge. Like get those three in there. That would be awesome.
I'm very curious.
Absolutely.
I'm very curious, Meg. You said to call. Would she be riding in a car or would she be doing the jet board? I'm very curious from your perspective.
Well, in Crossworlds specifically, you can pick what you ride. But if I just had to pick one, like for Takal, like personally, I feel like she would probably have a car over the extreme gear. It's
Mm.
that's what feels a little bit more right for me. But yeah, in Crossworlds, you can ride whatever you want with any character, which I think is awesome. That's so cool.
This is
All
just
right.
like a thought I'm having, but it would be very interesting to see Takal not ride, but instead act as like a safety guard. Like you know how in Mario Kart, if you fall off the edge, somebody will pick you back up and put you back down. It'd be interesting if she played a role like that. That'd be
Oh.
really interesting. Or if she provided boosters too.
That would be so
Oh.
cool,
Yeah.
dude. Pinky, they
Yeah.
gotta get you on the the team. What are they doing?
No, I'm an idea haver. I tells ya.
Yeah.
Pinky thinks real good.
Yeah.
I have a big noggin up here.
Yeah, that's something I can definitely agree with because Mario Kart, it's like back in the day, you just fall off and it takes like a million years before you get back on the track. But now they actually have Lakitu like picking you up if you fall off the stage, So
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely something they
Carl playing a
should
similar role
consider.
would be interesting. Oh my
Yeah.
god, delay. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're all good. Um, I think we have one time for one more question.
Sure.
Okay. Apparently, I'm not sure if you're at liberty to reveal this, but it's by Alejo_VR. Will there be any reference to Chunen from Sonic Unleashed in the fan game? I'm not sure if you're at liberty to say anything.
I can't just yet. That would be really cool though. Chinan, I think, to my knowledge, if we're just talking about the games, is the only real time Sonic goes to anywhere that's like meant to represent China. It's China has definitely been on our mind whenever like discussing like this game. Because I mean, it's again in terms of the games, it's the only real time he actually travels to China. So will Chinan actually be in the game? Can't say, but we have definitely taken it into consideration.
Mm. All right, so looks like we will have to end this Q&A. I want to thank you all for tuning in. The highest spectators I
Woo!
saw was 28. Wow.
I think I saw it bump up to like 30 or like 31. It was great.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
want to
quite a few
thank
people
you.
here.
I want to thank you guys for like tuning in and asking Meg so many great questions and of course questions he's not at the liberty to answer as of yet. All will be revealed soon.
Hmm.
I shall reveal all, as I said earlier.
Yes, yes.
And I want to thank you Pinky for suggesting this Q&A and being my co-host for this
Thank
Q&A.
you.
Yes.
Well, I am a part of a lot of projects. I'm a voice actor, I'm an artist. I get around quite a bit and I've had my fair share of fan games and not a lot of them have been successful, but when I stepped into this team and I saw the community, the friendships building and the dynamics of everybody working together, how everybody came together so seamlessly to create something so unique, I really believed. I believe this project will blossom into something great, and I think it's going to be something that will permanently impact the Sonic community. And it's going to be remembered for a very long time after it's done. So I
Thank you.
figured, as somebody, the team, and who genuinely believes in this project, I believe that it should have more attention and it should be getting around more. So thank you for taking the time to have Meg on and interview Dragon's Path.
Yeah. Like the concept is just in itself already grabbed my attention. So I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And of course, I want to thank
Hmm.
you, Meg, for taking time off your busy schedule, to come and do this Q&A because I know you and the Pat's team has been working so hard and diligently to be able to give us, at least little bits here and there, little by little.
Mhm.
um,
Well, it's been a
but
pleasure to be here. Thank you for just having me on. This was such a fun experience.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm going to do my ending outro as usual. I am going to reveal right now that I have my next Goddess Spotlight with Liaserenityrose, and it will be this coming Saturday, March 29, 2025, at 2 p.m. PT, 5 p.m. ET, where I will be doing a Q&A with two of the people who work at the Sonic Speed Cafe. um, so if you want to ask them questions, you are more than welcome to tune into that. And of course, I am also promoting that I will be doing my very first ever spring festival. And it's coming up soon in April. So be sure to stay tuned on my socials for the entire schedule, because not only will I be doing live streams, I will be doing Twitter spaces, and you guys get to engage with me. So I want to engage with the community, and stay tuned for that. I want to make this a very successful spring festival, so it would totally make my month if you guys tune into those specific live streams and Twitter spaces I'm going to be holding for next month. And
Woohoo! So excited for that.
That'll be
yeah,
amazing.
and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notifications for upcoming live streams and video content on my YouTube channel. So I want to thank you all again, and may you all have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.